All right, welcome to week 5 of the Coaches Show. Before we get started, this week's Coaches Show is sponsored by another proud Greenback graduate from the class of 2005, Stryker Portable Welding. Doug and Keith Ray do everything from oil field to farm work or even Granny's old metal rocking chair. They also offer sandblasting and powder coating. So a big thank you to Doug and Keith for being fans of the show and showing their support. And now we get going here, once again joined by head football coach Brent Hoelting, and second time making his appearance, the voice of the Greenbacks, Austin McNorton. How we doing, guys?
Doing all right.
Fantastic.
Not too bad.
Absolutely fantastic.
All right, so start things off. Last week, a big 62-27. Did I get the score right?
Yep.
Bam. All right. Win over Larned, moving on to 4-0. And again, another 50-point plus performance. We've gone over 50 3 times out of the 4 games. Big numbers from a lot of the kids, 111 yards passing, 389 rushing, 500 total offense, and 846 all-purpose yards. Let's recap last week a little bit. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I thought our kids came out in the appropriate mindset. We talked about being physical. We didn't think that on tape Larned was real physical, and we thought they were athletic, though, and they had some guys that could make some plays. And they did hit us for a touchdown, but I thought our kids came out, maybe with the appropriate amount of anger. We were ready to go, and I thought we did everything we wanted to. I think we only ran 22 plays in the first half and had almost 350 yards offense. So I was really proud of our kids for coming out. I don't care who you're playing, putting 50 up in a half is hard. It's hard to do, and so that was pretty impressive. It's our third half over 40 this year. The first half, third time in 4 games. So I was proud of our kids. I thought we came out well and executed.
We were talking during the broadcast, and we brought it up before, and I think we brought it up week 1 that 70 points or 72 was the record.
You were
70 though against Larned, and you guys were damn near there by halftime, putting up 50 on them. And you said when we were talking last night, your kids got into halftime. You're saying, we're not getting the ball much, or they weren't getting the yards they thought they were going to get. And you're like, guys, we got 50 points on the board.
Yeah. Well, they were like, hey, we haven't ran very many plays, and I was like, we haven't ran very many total. We rotate my backs in, and they were all fresh and rare and ready to go. And like, Coach, we haven't ran that many plays. I've probably only been in 10 plays. And I said, we probably only ran 20, know? So I thought our execution was good. Obviously our yards per play was pretty high. We were busting some long ones. I really was glad we were able to hit, Carson threw a heck of a ball on that 70-yard touchdown pass to Jair. Jair made a great adjustment. That was big for us. I think being able to hit those plays, loosen defenses up a little bit so they can't stack safeties in the box and people like that. I think that's big for our offense, so it was really good to see. I was going to get to some of those big plays. That one, the big opening play by Johnny, that big run. The punt return. Huge. Again, that was one of the most impressive punt returns I've seen. But back to that pass play, one of your notes on Huddle there was what was his read? What was his answer to that, or have you addressed that with him yet? Yeah,
or is it something that you want to, or that you can divulge?
Yeah, no, the point was the read's supposed to be the safety there, and the safety kind of came over. He threw a heck of a ball, but I thought our wheel was a lot more open. Now, once again, sometimes we have to tell our kids that and they know I'm super picky. I'm gonna pick at every little detail. I'm a details guy, and I know sometimes that probably gets hard because they're doing a good job. But Carson threw a fantastic ball there. We're always talking process over results, and what was your read there, and should have been the safety coming over to the wheel when the backer stayed tight.
The read might have been it's 30-7, and I want to go deep.
And Carson has a heck of an arm. He likes to show that arm off a little bit sometimes. Yeah, no, and he made a pretty.
Oh, it was
really in the bucket.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
And then back to that punt return.
Unreal.
Talk about that. That was unreal. That was the punt itself was impressive.
He retreated, and then he retreated all the way back to about
caught it behind
10,
his shoulder.
Right?
And people don't, if you've never caught punts before, and I was a punt returner when I was in high school, people don't realize when they kick a spiral and that thing comes over the end, it goes up and it comes back down, that thing just drops. When it's a tight spiral, that's why those pros always want to kick the spiral, not the end over end, is that thing drops on you, and it's really hard to judge. And to catch that over your shoulder, Johnny made an absolutely incredible play. He caught that over his shoulder and then goes 90 yards, which we don't have any official one. I looked through our stats, but I'd almost bet that's the longest one in Greenback history.
It'd be tough to beat.
Because 125 was the most return yards for a game, punt return yards.
Well, and he was only, 10 yards off total return yards for the game, which you said he didn't know about mid-game.
And we didn't know about, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. He was a little tired. He'd had another long run and sent Carson in for one of them. We didn't get him subbed in time because we were going safe, and he wanted the record. He's bound and determined. Johnny's one of those, though. If he wants something, he usually goes and gets it. So.
Yeah.
So going to those passing plays, we saw more of them against Heston and now against Larned, whereas we didn't see as many against Hoisington. Is that a part of the offense that's just continued to grow more, or is it more of we're playing this team, we'll be able to throw the ball more? Is it more of a matchup thing, or is it just been progression?
So this offense, I think every time we come out and myself, the coaches try to do a good job of what are they giving us? Mm-hmm. Because, we talk a lot. When I look at film, the beauty of this offense, I think, is you can load one way and you can take some stuff away, but you can't take everything away. We send so many guys to the hole that if your linebackers can't run through backside gap, and that's probably the hardest thing. We haven't really had to face that yet, that if we had a linebacker that can knife through there. But I think we've run it quick enough and closed those down that we're going to have numbers. If we can call it right, if I can call it right, if I can get us in the right look. And then I think it's just a matter of pass plays. I want to see when I think what I'll watch sometimes is, it's hard. You try to watch everything, but, I always try to get on between possessions and look at the iPads that we have on the sideline and what are they doing on the snap? Are their safeties coming up? Are their corners stepping up? Are they false stepping? What are they doing? Where are they going? And where are their eyes at? That's the big thing. What are they reading? Are they reading our blocking back? Are they reading the X? Are they reading our backfield? And then so I think then you get some clarity of what's going to be open, depending on what they're reading. And Johnny's done such a good job running our counter back the other way. He hit it once again, first play the other night, and he ducks in there, and he's such a big play threat. He's our home run hitter. Yeah. That play action off of him coming back for the counter has been kind of a money play for us because everyone sucks that way. Because if you don't and we hand it off, we got big numbers. But if you do and we don't hand it off, it takes a lot of eye discipline, and it's really hard for high school kids, I think, sometimes to maintain that throughout the course of a game. They may do it a play or two, but they got to do it for 60 plays, 70 plays.
Right.
Yeah, you mentioned checking the iPad in between plays. Is that something that I didn't realize you had live real-time feedback during the game? Does every school have access to that, or is that something that if your school has the budget, you can have access to?
And we are blessed. Put in a plug for our booster club. They pay for our huddle every year. So what we get is it's a package you have to buy, and we have instantaneous view to the sideline and the end zone cams. So I can check how they're lining up, what gaps they're in. If there's questions we can't get answered from up top somehow, we can check on that. Or if I just want to see something, or if I, hey, what did so-and-so do on this play? Because I'm setting them up. We always talk about, I don't want to call plays in a, hey, I just want to call this play to call it.
Right.
We try to play chess a little bit to where I'm going to call plays to set stuff up. And then I'm obviously going into film, a lot of times what I'll look at now instead of alignment, because we never know what we're going to see, is who can we pick on? And that's why, we thought we got a good matchup against Hoisington, and that's why we kept shifting.
Okay.
Because they weren't rotating their line when we shifted. They were leaving it. And so we thought we had a good matchup on one side over the other, and that's why we relentlessly just kept itching that, or scratching that itch, sorry. I think that's what it's a matchup based thing, and that's what we find on film. And then how are they going to compensate for that? And then what can we do as an answer? Kind of an if then scenario all the time. If they do this, then we're going to do this.
Does that help on the defensive side too, using those iPads and cameras and?
Oh, for sure. I think it's awesome. I mean, it helps anything. We can see what they're doing. We can see what their splits are. Their steps, how they're moving. See if we can catch anything that they're doing pre-snap. Anything you can use like that to give yourself an advantage, I think you try to use.
What, going into that week, you guys, I lost my train of thought there. I had a good question coming and don't know where I was going with that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The answer is, yeah. Right. The answer is always yes. Yeah, absolutely. No. So coming off that big Larned win though, and now we're moving into set for a big matchup, 4-0 Cheney versus 4-0 Pratt. Man, what's the week look like this week? Is it a normal week? Is it a little more after hours this week? Is it little longer practices, or just a little more so on the coaches?
Not longer. I think more so the coaches. We've been meeting. The kids have been meeting for defensive film in the mornings. We did that last couple mornings, and we had a longer Monday than we probably do watching film and walking through everything. But I think that's hard. You got to balance, the appropriate. We don't want to get way out of our comfort zone with what we're doing, and we got to balance that with keeping kids fresh. And that's the hardest part probably this year to balance in our offense, is that you can't run this offense and practice on air all the time. Like, we're physical, and that's our calling card. And you've heard me say it several times, and we talked to our kids about it this week. That's our calling card, is we're going to get downhill and we're going to beat the heck out of you. So it's, we talked about, we were talking last night at the volleyball game, like the Rocky IV, we're just going to keep chopping the Russian down. That's kind of what we do, is just keep giving body blows. And we came out great in some first halves, but like Heston, I thought they did some things and they're really athletic the first half. In the second half, they didn't want to get hit anymore. They were tired, and that's when we were able to really start breaking off chunk yardage, our big plays. And so we got to balance keeping our kids fresh with, I could practice all night and want to do stuff, but we got to balance that with doing the right thing for kids, making sure their bodies are ready to go Friday nights.
What's the biggest key for Friday night against a quarterback who statistically is top 5 in the entire state, all classes? How do you go about saying, okay, this kid is going to make some plays, and you're going to know that going into the game?
Right. And this kid, for my money, is probably the best player in 3A. I mean, he's really, really good. He's special. He's their engine. I think the first thing we have to do is rush in lanes. If we get out of our lanes and he has a big pocket to step up into, or if we cut in outside and he can go outside, we're in a lot of trouble. Because then you put your backers and you put your corners, safeties in a bind. Do I come up and tackle him? He's really dangerous running. Or do I stay back? And inevitably, sometimes that instinct takes over. You come up, and he does a great job of keeping his eyes downfield while he's scrambling, finding somebody for a big play. He's done that several times we've seen on film. He is most dangerous off platform. As good as he is in the pocket, he's more dangerous out of the pocket when he's scrambling and running. And they're you can tell they practice it. You can tell the receivers are good at running a scramble drill. They move all around and get open when he's scrambled. They don't just stand there. And so I think we've got to rush in lanes. I think we got to collapse the pocket to where he can't step up into his throws. If he doesn't do that, he's got kind of a long motion. And if he doesn't do that, he kind of airmails the ball a little bit. But if he can step into his throws and get comfortable reads-wise, he's really accurate. So I think we have to keep him off balance. I think we have to change the looks up, hopefully confuse him a little bit, see if we can do some of that, and get him out of a rhythm. Because once quarterbacks like that get in a rhythm, they're hard to stop.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed watching some of his game film, is that his wide receivers know to be ready. Yeah. I mean, when he gets out of the pocket, like you were talking, he's still looking downfield, and his wide receivers know it too. So keeping coverage downfield, and not all of a sudden biting on, he's running the ball, looked like, that could be crucial, because they know he's got the arm to make the throw. If they stick with their route, it's not like once he breaks pocket, all right, come up and make a block. His receivers are still looking to get the ball. For sure. And he finds them a lot.
A lot. And that's, like I said, you're right, he has the arm. I mean, there's a game against his junior year against Holcomb where he put one in the air for 65 yards. So he's got a crazy good arm. That's pads on. And he can step up. There's a couple where he's been on the run throwing a 50 this year. So like you said, a lot of times receivers, when they see him running, they turn and block. His guys don't. They keep finding an opening because he keeps his eyes downfield. He's still looking for them instead of tucking it. And so I think that's that's the biggest challenge with him, is that. And then he does a good job of getting the ball out. They hit a lot of quick game. Slants, hitches, outs. They got a little their favorite combo out of trips. They'll run a wheel, they'll run a post, and then they'll sit a guy right there in that middle area. So we got to guard, especially if we're in zone, we got to guard a man and not grass. We got to go find somebody, have our head on a swivel, and not stare at the backfield at him, because it's easy to do because we know how good he is. But we got to go find somebody and make contact and make sure we step under something.
You've been talking about physicality all year long, and in all my years as a broadcaster at the high school level, I've never truly seen the work in the weight room at a high school level be so effective, and you can see it every Friday night that you guys truly are the most physical team out there without question. What has been your key here in 3 years in that weight room? What goes on in that weight room that you found has been like, this has been the biggest progression to we're seeing the results on the field on Friday night?
Well, I think one thing, we don't just do bench squat clean, bench squat clean, bench. We do lots of variations of that.
Okay.
And I think that's important to kind of shock the system, shock the body. I think it grows better that way. And then we always do some athletic type movements every day. And I think the key is, to be quite honest, into any system, the kids bought in, and they started seeing results. They started seeing, their totals go up. We chart everything. We published our 40 times and our 10-yard flies, and we have a leaderboards, and the kids know where they're at, and they know what they lift. And powerlifting, we've kind of got that off the ground, and I think that's been big. Our guys got third in the state, and our girls got fourth, and that's we're still growing it. We still didn't bring a lot of our guys that I think would have placed, or girls that would have placed really high last year, and I think we're gonna have more this year and have a chance at a state title. So I think when you see results, you want to do stuff. And I'm sure the kids would tell you I'm probably just a little bit crazy in there, and I go wild.
Well, it's
a little
working,
bit,
man. It's working.
I'm a pretty high energy guy. I'm not a sit over there in the corner guy. I'm moving around and pushing and encouraging, and we've really tried to develop our kids to push each other and lead each other. I tell them, if you're spotting and they don't do enough reps and I catch it, you're both losing points because you're not making them. We got to hold each other accountable. And so our kids have done a really good job of buying in, guys and girls. I think they've done a really good job of buying into that. And now that you can see, I think it just builds on itself when you see the results come to fruition. Then I think it builds on itself, and more kids know that the process works, that lifting hard works, and we have some good kids, Enoch, Mason, Maui, some of those kids. Johnny Martinez was a state champion last year as a sophomore in powerlifting. Like, we got some kids that bust their butt, and you can't help but work hard when they're in the weight room with you, because you don't want to get left behind.
How much, a lot of what Austin was talking about in that weight room is the culture, the overall culture of what you kind of come in, set the tone, and the, the Greenbacks. How much, like, as a new, and usually you get that after year 2, year 3, it's kind of established, everybody's buying into it. How much of being a new coach coming into a new town does it take you to kind of get used to the culture of the town, of the culture of the Greenbacks and the history of football in this town? Now that you've been here for 2-3 years, kind of like your kids have, does it make your job, or not easier, but you're not the new coach in town anymore. You don't have to introduce yourself as, hey, I'm the head coach. This is my wife, Andrea.
Make it booed if I do that.
You've got good friends. Everybody's families now. Is there something to be said about you adjusting to the culture of the town you come to as well?
I think so too, and I think the town has to buy in. I think that's anything. And we talk about my parents' meeting every year that the parents are the most important part of our program. With the kids, and if I know that going home, parents are going to support myself, our coaching staff, our kids, it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to win. When we talk about saying, sometimes those emotions are high after a game, just saying, I love to watch you play, even though you want to say so much. And I know I'm guilty of that sometime. Cameron's sitting over there. I have to step back sometime. And I decided a few years ago to let other people coach her because she probably needed to hear a different voice than me. And my boys will probably definitely say that when they grow up. So I think we have great community support, great parents. And I think that's the first thing. We have great parents here. It's not easy. Obviously, the situation that I stepped into in terms of coming off a state runner-up, and obviously we weren't as successful the next year. And that takes, and a lot of credit goes also to, I still talk to most of them a lot. My seniors, the first couple years, they're great kids. I got a text, man, that probably the best part of my night was we beat Heston, and one of my old players texted me like, man, coach, it was so awesome to see you happy tonight. All of us were talking about, how cool that was, and we love you, and we're happy for you. And that means everything. That means way more than the wins, way more than anything. And I hope that maybe we've got it established, because I know our kids know I can be an old crusty crab sometime, and I'm picking on everything, and I get on their butts, and I'm a fiery guy, but we also tell them we love them a lot, and make sure that they understand that I'm going to care about you off the field more than I'm going to care about you on the field, and that's going to carry even when you graduate. I always tell them, you're not getting rid of me. I'll be there for you till day I die, and I think that's important, and I think that our kids for the most part bought into that. And understand that, and I think the atmosphere there when everyone's pulling together is the most essential part. Any town that's successful in things, it's because everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction. And I feel like we've got a lot of community support and a lot of people that do that. And I'm blessed. You know, it's not me, it's our kids and it's our parents, our families here in town. You know, we're really lucky. I'm just in a good situation.
What would a win, and I know we asked you this for Heston after beating the Swathers for only the second time in school history, what would a win against a Cardinals team in Cheney, who has been very historically successful in South Central Kansas, a team you don't see too often, but you know the history behind the program like that, what would a win over a program like that with that history and success mean for where this program and direction it's heading?
You know, and I guess I don't look at, probably should, I don't look at the history stuff because I know every year's unique and kids are unique, but there's pride. There's pride in winning communities. And so I think anytime you beat programs like that, like Hoisington this year, you know, that there's a lot to be said because sometimes there's those mental hurdles of getting over, man, that town's this. They're so good every year. You know, and I think that's why Andale wins a lot of games because they're up 14, 21 points before they step on the field because they're Andale and the other team isn't. And we've been trying to break that here. And I think our kids are doing a good job. I think they're confident. You know, and I told our kids, like, this isn't some, you know, Cinderella. Like, you've earned this. You've worked for this. You know, that was my big message to them this week. Don't let the moment be too big for you because it's not. Because you've worked for this. Our kids have worked their butt off to be where they are. It didn't just happen. We haven't just gotten lucky. They've worked their tail off. So you deserve to be in this game. You've earned the right to be in this game. So, man, go have fun with it. That's high school football, man. I mean, it doesn't get any better than nights like Friday night. These are the ones you remember. You don't remember the 62-27s necessarily. You remember a few things. But the games you really remember are these big games, the games that you've earned the right to be in. And our kids have earned the right to be in that, and I'm excited for them Friday night.
Hey, last week we talked a little bit about tradition and some of the things that you do as far as the hit stick and the practice jerseys. So I'm curious now each week who won those from that Larned game, if you would mind reading those off.
It was hard. Johnny had a heck of a game. You know, he was our MVP, but obviously did pretty dang well on special teams. This week. So special teams we gave to, oh gosh, now I'm blanking. I just hit my tongue and it was on the tip of my tongue and now I'm lost it. That's called getting old.
Put you on spot.
Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's. But, we gave special teams. I am blanking. Holy cow.
Move on to hit stick.
Player of the week.
It'll come back to you.
Our practice player of the week is Tay Wilson. I mean, that kid does an incredible job. He gets in there all the time, and he's always doing everything we ask of him.
Some wrestlers are tough kids.
He is tough. He's going to be a great football player for us, man. I mean, that kid is smart. He's doing a good job. I thought he earned it just because he steps in there, and it's not easy being a scout team quarterback, being a scout team. You know, you get the tar beat out of you sometimes. He never complains. He gets up every week and play after play and just keeps giving us a look. And he's getting a lot better by himself as a result. You know, he's getting better. It's not just about us. He's getting better and better every week. He's playing at a high level, I think, at the JV level. So I thought he was doing a really good job there. And then if my brain fart, comes back, I'll tell you special teams player of the week.
You'll remember it.
Yeah. And then hit stick of the week, that was a tough one. If we had some guys light some people up on Friday night, but man, Grayson Mandel on the sideline. He hit
towards the end of the game there. Yeah. And I think I called it Noah Riley in the radio. And then afterwards, like, I got that wrong. That was Grayson Mandel.
Who did you pick as the hit of the game?
I think we gave it to, it was on a kickoff. I think Carson Hamey had one on a kickoff.
He hit one. Mason Melcher came through the hole on an ISO one time and just absolutely blasted a linebacker. Johnny hit the heck out of somebody. We had a lot of good hits, and that's what you want. You want people flying around, and that hit stick's been kind of fun. And obviously the kids are competition because Mr. shout out Mr. Rector. He makes really nice hit sticks for us every week. Tim Rector, our shop teacher, he designed them. They're really awesome. The kids get their name on them, engrave them. I need to bring one in to show. It says "Burn the Boats," our theme this year, and has the date of the game and. It's really, really cool. So our kids have kind of gotten into that. It's kind of fun. They take home, they get pretty excited. So there's a lot of, we've only give one. I said there's a lot of worthy hits, but we only give one a week.
Yeah.
So, Grayson got that. It was pretty cool. And he's a kid. Talk about a kid that's really improving coming on, man. He's doing a great job.
Well, good. Now, so this week also, not only is it Cheney, but it's also homecoming week. What does that do anything to the focus, the routine, to your focus, to the kids' focus, it seems like it's always a busy week for the kids. Is it so much for the coaches as well? Or?
Yeah, I think our kids at school would probably tell you I'm not very good at homecoming. I'm God.
No spirit.
No, it's not that. And I will if I forget the days. And I'll be honest, a game like this, I've went home every night and watched film till I don't know when, and keep trying to see if I can pick up something, find anything to help us a little bit more, even though I watched much last weekend. So I keep forgetting the days. I know tomorrow's twinning day. Everyone, since I'm the weights teacher, everyone wants to dress up like me so they can wear shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm the most popular guy in school. And it'd be the only time on twin day.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to dress up like that. So I know that one's tomorrow. No, I talk to our kids about, like, have fun, be smart, participate in activities. That's fun. That's part of being a high school kid. That doesn't mean your attention, can't be elsewhere and we can't be focused on the game. But I've just told them Friday night, you're the show. You're the one everyone's coming to watch. It's going to be awesome. And, congratulations to our king and queen. But that game is the game. So don't lose focus on everything else and forget about the game. And our kids have done a good job of that. I haven't seen anything where they're preoccupied with other stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for me as far as questions on Cheney. I think all we got coming up left is the
dreaded segment of the week.
How well do you know your Greenback? There's nothing too bad about this one. It's a piece of cake.
See, this segment is taking on a life of its own.
This one's it's a breeze.
No, it's like my sister actually called me this week, and she was like, "Hey, if Cody ever needs anything for that segment, he can give me a call." And I said, "No, he doesn't need to." She said,
"I'm going to get her
she
number."
She said, "I can look him up." She said, "I can look him up."
Once we get off air, I'm going to get her number from you.
She said, "I can look him up on Facebook." I said, "Please don't." Please don't. So, but on that, so any of you that need to get a hold of me on Facebook to give me dirt on Cody, because I need some.
It's not
I
out
saw
there.
a video that Scott Goodhart put out on you. Yeah, yes. I saw that as well.
I saw a video.
He hasn't brought that up yet.
I didn't even want to bring that to show because I didn't want to scare the children.
I'm glad.
Are you bringing it up? That's the question. Are we talking about this video, Brent?
This dancing?
I want to know the story behind it. Yes.
Yeah, I do want to know the story.
Well, back in our day, homecoming tradition was that the senior football players always put on a skit. So, heck, even the 1995 state championship winners, they wore all the cheerleading girls' uniforms and did a cheer skit. So, in our, in the year 1999, Ricky Martin's "Livin' La Vida Loca" was
what a song selection
was all over the nation. #1 hits on the charts. So, with the help and the choreography of the late great Jack Ewing, we put together a hit. So,
a hit.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
I think that was the night or the day that Carrie was like, I've got to marry that guy. When he dances like that.
She saw that. She's like, I'm in.
It was.
I'm convinced. I don't need to see anything else.
It was. Now, okay, I get it. We all did some dumb things in high school that might be embarrassing today.
Is that a segue?
It could be a segue.
Okay.
And you guys brought the dancing up. I was going to leave this lie.
We couldn't leave it live. We couldn't leave it live.
I had no idea this would come up, but I was ready for it in case it did. I mean, like I said, dumb things. Whether it's acting like Ricky Martin.
I don't know what this is.
To recreate "Livin' La Vida Loca," or acting like Bo Jackson going shirtless for a senior picture.
That's a good one.
The famous Bo nose.
I want to know who gave you that picture.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have the picture.
But
when I saw it, I thought that's Bo nose. You tried.
No, my mom made me take that picture. I want that to be known.
Here, I've got something better. Hold on.
I think you've got the picture.
Wait a minute.
No. You got it on a T-shirt. Yes.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's not Bo nose. It's Brent nose. And that shirt would have stayed on all show had the dancing skit not came out.
That is unbelievable.
Lord, that is something.
Yes, it is. I might auction this off, have the Booster Club auction this off at the end of the show. Cam.
That is someone.
What do you think, Cam?
Do
you know who Bo Jackson is, Cam?
Someone in my family is fired.
Ryan didn't either. No, okay. Andrea, this was not Andrea. This came from one of your assistant coaches.
I want to know how they got it.
I don't know, but they knew who to get it to.
Okay. You know who it was?
Yeah. We went down to a church barbecue.
This was I don't care. It was strong. He got thrown under the bus week 1, and he said, "Hey, I got some dirt for you." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to save that for the right time."
Well done, Tyler.
And then my great dancing moves come out week 5.
Yeah, as if you weren't playing it. As if it wasn't.
Well,
Okay.
I thought I better save it for the last show because you might not
I
come
hope there's
on.
a camera malfunction and they can't see that.
Oh, no. We'll get that.
He bought a whole new camera setup and
The
everything just
fact
for
that
this.
you had
dude.
the shirt made is the best.
That's dedication.
And you know why Ryan was scared when you suggested big heads. I like to go a bit above and beyond.
Yes,
She
you
said,
did.
you know my dad, he'll do it.
Yeah, she's not lying.
We got to see
Yeah.
if this shirt's lucky. If you wear that Friday night and we win,
Please
you got to wear it for the rest of
Oh my
time.
gosh.
That's
No.
official.
Yeah. We won 4 games without that shirt.
That's true.
This isn't the good luck shirt, although it could be. Okay, are you ready for the official how well do you know your greenback?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. It's time for how well do you know your greenbacks?
Greenbacks, how well do you know your greenbacks?
All right,
proud
Coach
of
Hoelting.
yourself for that.
The fabled Zerger field was donated by Franny Hooker Zerger after her husband Andrew passed away. Do you know the year that the first game was played on Zerger Field?
First with turf or first? period?
First game on Zerger Field.
Oh boy. 1978.
1915. That
Wow,
field has
goodness.
been around
Wow.
a
That's a-
very
I knew it. I was-
long
wow.
time.
That is
If my
amazing.
information is correct. Unofficial stats are kind of my thing, but this one I think we got right. If not, maybe
Wow.
someone will correct us. But yeah,
1950. That's amazing.
land was donated in 1912. Construction began, and the first game against, I believe, St. John was played in 1915.
Do you know where they played before that? Any idea?
I don't even know if there
That's
was a
crazy.
field. I'll have to try to find that
So
out.
the football field's been there since 9. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Pretty cool
a
stat.
long, long time. So yeah, serious.
I
one.
lost that
Man,
one.
I mean, this is a serious show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you serious questions.
There you go.
All right, that's gonna do it. Austin, you got anything else for Coach Hoelting?
Oh, man, I'm excited for
All right,
Friday.
yeah, I'm excited.
go.
Friday night, it's going to be me and Austin back in the
Pack
booth.
the house.
4-0 Cheney versus 4-0 Pratt here at home for homecoming, Zerger Field. It's going to be a fun one, and we'll see you guys next week on the Coaches Show. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.